Hey everybody, welcome back to Critical Pixels. I'm Jeff Haynes and I wanted to introduce you all to the Swindle. As you can see by the title screen, it is a Steampunk Cybercrime Caper from Size 5 Games, and it was released at the tail end of July, I want to say the 28th or the 29th. We're currently working on this game for review for the Common Sense Game Review channel, so keep an eye out for that. We'll be posting that review in the next, say, week and a half or so, but basically by the middle of August. But I wanted to introduce you guys to this game because while it says it's a Steampunk Cybercrime Caper, this is a roguelike through and through, and it is hardcore. It really plays a lot like, Rogue Legacy or Invisible Ink in some ways. A lot of the abilities that you wind up acquiring for the members of your crew are passed down from member to member, so there's always a sense of progress, especially if you wind up unlocking a new ability. And somewhat similar to Invisible Ink, you're basically performing different heists at different locations, trying to acquire a lot of cash and a lot of items that you can then use to purchase new elements for your team. But unlike that game, this is not a turn-based element where you have to basically plan out your strategy. As soon as you enter a level or heist, you are on the go, and it is complete from start to finish. You really have to plan out everything that you're doing carefully as you're just hoping to avoid the patrols and the guards and everything else. The other thing is, this game is hard. I know at the very bottom left of the screen you can see stats right there, which kind of details, like, the number of heists that I've played, some of the deaths, things like that, how successful. Part of that's because I jumped in, tried to play a game or two just to get a sense of exactly how this game played, as well as try to record a couple of takes, and I bombed, and I bombed badly. I mean, I had to wipe out the entire game and start over a couple of times completely because it was such an epic fail. And the fail was so bad that it really wasn't that appealing or even worthy of recording and posting it on YouTube. But I'm going to try doing it again, just clean. Hopefully, now that I actually have a sense of what some of the hazards might be, how some of these things work, I can actually, play it in a way that it looks not only interesting, but you guys get a sense of exactly what the game is like. And hopefully I don't need to wipe out. If I do, we'll get to that, but hopefully I'll be able to play it well enough. So why don't we jump right into the Swindle. So one of the things about this is it really does have that steampunk aesthetic. As you can see, we're in London, 1849, right in kind of the heart of that steampunk mix of technology and Victorian era. So as you can see, you've got the airships, the cogs and the machinery, contrasted with Victorian London. The basic setting is that Scotland Yard has a new AI. They're calling it the Devil's Basilisk. It's very similar to Minority Report's precognition technology, and basically it will eliminate the option for thieves and burglars to perform jobs. So to stop that, you need to steal that AI before it can be implemented, and you only have 100 days. So the countdown already starts as soon as you hit start for a new game. So right here we're on board our airship. That's basically our mobile base where our entire organization winds up launching their heists, and right here we're going to go to our workbench, which basically details a lot of the skills and the abilities that all of the members of our organization will be able to use. Obviously, we start with Henry, but as Henry gets captured or killed, usually killed, you end up getting more people and they wind up picking up the exact same skills. Now, as you can see, every ability costs a certain amount of pounds for you to acquire. This first category, which is agility, really governs things like your movement. So everything from double jumping abilities to your speed, holding onto walls, how quickly you can move at a quiet pace, or eliminating the sound of your footsteps, and finally preventing damage from falling. But obviously these are very, very pricey in some cases. Abilities by and of themselves really govern some of the skills you employ on a heist or on the job. So that's everything from being able to hack computers, to the strength of your attacks against guards, to being able to break through windows, to being able to see what possible hazards happen to be around you, and even teleporting through walls. And I have a feeling that's going to be really useful, but again, the super useful skills are usually the most expensive ones. Tools happen to be the items that you bring with you to help you exploit some of the levels. So, you know, you've got bombs, and that governs everything from like bomb strength to the bomb radius, how fast you can set one up. You've got steam purges, which are essentially like smoke screens, which lets you expel clouds of smoke or steam from the backpack that you see Henry wears on his back, which is really good, especially if you make a mistake and you're detected by guards. You happen to have bugs, which will allow you to automatically start filling your bank account with cash from computer networks from locations. You can remote detonate bombs, you can confuse guards, you can even set off EMP blasts. The goggles, in some cases, it's really like the mini-map section of the skill tree. So, you know, that's everything from what noises guards and creatures make on a mission or on a heist, so you have a sense of where they are, to where computers or security stations happen to be, you know, or even just basic layouts of the level. The final one is the miscellaneous section. This really pertains to your airship and your mobile base, so you've got things like gaining access to the next area or the next district that you can commit heists in. You've got ways of slowing down the implementation of the Devil's Basilisk, which would basically end the game, so you can gain a little bit more time. Of course, that's going to be a pretty pricey little section right there. You've got police interference, which slows down the amount of time that the police come, or how quickly police come if you're detected by guards on a level. That's really going to be important, because when police come, they come full force. There's very little time that you have, and it's not like a GTA thing where you've got like multiple levels of you know, being wanted. No, they really do throw the proverbial sink at you, if you count a sink with a machine gun and like troops, the kitchen sink. Then you got like things like purging steam automatically, and of course getting bonus cash for sending robots to the scrapyard. At the very start of the game, you have no cash whatsoever, which is one of the reasons why you immediately need to start doing heists. So this first level is basically going to be a tutorial level, but it's also going to be a way that you can get a quick sense of what these skills are like, and you're really basically being thrown headfirst right into the fire. Even though it's a tutorial level at the quote-unquote first mission, there's no real tutorial. You basically have to figure it out as you go along. As you can see, there are 6 separate districts. They basically correspond to these security levels. The first one, as you see here, are the slums. Obviously, the last one is the Swindle, the proverbial Swindle, the assault on Scotland Yard. One nice thing to note, if you can actually hear it, there's a really quick mix of both the rotary dial and rotary sounds of clicking, as well as the touch tone of like a phone when you're selecting a security level. It's kind of a nice touch for a steampunk title, especially one set here. It's just it has no real impact as far as I've seen, but you know, it's just a nice aesthetic element. But why don't we jump into the slums? Obviously, it's going to be the poorest section, but it's going to give us some cash that we can then use to upgrade Henry and all of his skills. So Henry lands in a pod, and again, as I mentioned, you're basically dropped right into the level. Controls are pretty easy. Y actually opens doors and things like that. X attacks, A jumps, B uses some of your skills. Now, one thing to note, as you can see, every single guard basically has a cone of awareness, a vision cone where they can see exactly what's going on. So sometimes you need to hide behind doors, you need to pick the right time to open those up and strike, things like that. And right here, as you can see, this is a computer. Computers are really, really important because you can get a ton of cash, especially when you get that hack skill. They're a lot better than just the little piles of money that are just lying on floors in these buildings. I'm guessing that's because they've got robot guards. They basically expect that they don't need to really secure their cash any longer. It's kind of a stupid idea, but, you know, if I had a robot guard, maybe I'd be pretty lazy about securing my cash too. But one thing to note, and it's kind of an interesting little element of the game, is that the cones of or the vision cones kind of backfire in some cases on the guards. I mean, get out of that way because that's a window, and guards can actually walk through windows, but they also see a little bit farther with windows as well. Guards in some cases you could argue are a little bit stupid, and it's not to denigrate like the AI or anything. It's just that like you can knock a guard into the cone of vision of another guard, and they won't raise an alarm. Maybe it's because they're not paying attention to what happens to a guard, or they basically just figure that it's you know a guard going on repair. It's failed for some reason, but it doesn't automatically trigger an alert to everybody else. So you can actually take advantage of that in some cases, but the game will also ramp it up so the elements that you have, the options that you happen to have, are very, very slim, and you really have to be on top of your game. So I've really I've basically acquired, as far as I can tell, all the cash except for the computer systems, the 2 computer systems where I get a ton of cash. Just want to do a really quick shout out to the level design in many ways, because it really has that steampunk aesthetic. You know, you've got the turning gear in the background. Obviously it's a Ferris wheel, but I mean it almost looks like a troop transporter or a truck transport. Very mechanical. You've got the airship in the background. You have the atmospheric rain just pouring down, which not only is a London thing, but it really kind of gives you that atmospheric steampunk style thing, especially with all the metallic buildings in the background. So we'll just quickly return to the airship, blast off, and you know there's only 10% cash, but that's because that's all the cash that was lying around. But at least now we can get the hack skill. The hack skill is going to be, again, like I said, really, really key, because we'll be able to hack computers and get so much more cash. Remember that 154 pound stat of just picking up bundles of money on the ground. It's going to be so much more when we can actually hack into computers. But now that that first mission is over and done with, we're diving right back in, but things are going to get a lot harder. Now, unlike other roguelikes where, you know, every now and then you have health bars, you have ways of taking on enemies and maybe even surviving a few attacks, in the Swindle you don't have any of that. You have basically one shot. You have one hit and the game's over. So if you get detected, you really and I just one of the other hazards that can sometimes happen, especially when you don't have the wall hold ability, is you will sometimes try to scale things and you will automatically crash and die. Sometimes even if you have the wall scale, you can scale things and crash and die. It's unfortunate, but you have to deal with it. It's just one of the hazards. Again, this roguelike, it is unforgiving in some ways. You really have to be on top of your game. So I'm going to start to hack this computer, and as you can see, every now and then you have prompts just to help you gain cash, but as opposed to the 154 bucks that I got from the last one from just picking up bundles, I now have $703 from hacking just one computer. So hacking is really the key when it comes to gaining cash. So I'm gonna try this again, and I believe if you end up messing up some of these prompts, you actually wind up reducing some of the cash that you get. Again, smashing glass doesn't really seem to alert a lot of the guards at all. Not entirely sure why, but you know, I'll take it. The big thing, of course, as I was trying to say in the last one, is you really need to time your attacks out. Sometimes you want to make sure that you have entrance and exits all locked down, so if everything just kind of goes south, you basically know where you're going and how to avoid the cops when they come, because like I said, they will come very, very quickly. So that was surprisingly clean. Unlike the last mission, as you can see, you can easily wipe out, and wipe out bad. But I just got 100% of the cash on that level. I actually got a ghost bonus because none of the guards saw me or detected me. So that actually gives me a nice little boost in the cash that I get as well. So I can return to the airship and really start to improve on Henry's skills. So let's see. Right now, one of the things that I do know is that to get access to the warehouse district, which is the next district around, I need 4,000 pounds to be able to access that. And to be able to access bombs so I can blast holes and blast walls, I need 5,000 pounds. I'm probably not going to wind up acquiring that until I've unlocked the warehouse district, but what I will want to do is start to look at some other things, like, you know, possibly the first level of bionic eyes, which is only 1,000 pounds, although I can probably save that for the first run through or so of the warehouse. I really want to improve my agility, so getting a double jump is always important, especially because some of the other levels you really need to scale some things, and you really need the height. Movement speed is always important because that helps you close on guards and take them out quickly, so getting that is key. And stopping mid-slide on a wall, very, very important. Now, obviously, it looks like I'm kind of wasting a lot of pounds here, but because the game really just starts to ramp up with the number of guards, the height of each level, the difficulty, you really are kind of picking and choosing how frugal you need to be versus how important it is to be equipped. And you'll see exactly what I mean. As you can see, like now they're increasing the number of guards, they're increasing the number of patrols. In some cases, something like that, you know, that guard just walked by one that I just knocked out. He's not alerted at all. But you really need to gauge exactly how you're going to access some of these things. Oh, looks like we have 2 guards back to back, but there's a window that they can look through. So I basically need to break that window and take out 2 guards at once. Very, very tricky. And as you can see, they've also started to implement things like spikes. I'm definitely not going to go that way just yet. That might be the way that I choose to exit. And Big Ben has just sounded, so I don't think that that's really going to impact the game at all. But it is just a nice touch in addition to the atmospherics of London. But as I said, as you can see, they've implemented things like spikes. They're going to quickly start adding things in like mobile guards and other like items that really will start to interrupt and interfere with cleanly being able to move in or out of spaces, because the guards will have more health. They'll have more patrols. It really starts to get very, very tricky very quickly, and you really need to be on top of your game. Oh, and I seriously jumped over that, and yet it still counted it as falling into the spikes. So sometimes that happens. It really does, especially with this particular rogue. But you can do something and think that you've made it, and you won't. So we'll just try it again. It's basically the only thing that we can do. And our new thief, Eudora here, hopefully she has a better shot. I'm just gonna give them a chance to make their patrol, and then we'll see how quick she can take these two out. And okay, so again, you know, the computer's still very, very key, tons of cache, but you know, it's things like those spikes. You really have to pick and choose the risk and reward factor on this. And you know, currently right now, you don't really need to take out every single guard. In some cases, you really don't even need to pick up every single bit of cache in a level. It really is a situation of what you deem to be important to you. But sometimes that's part of it with this game. It really is a certain amount of the risk-reward element. And I'm just trying to get up here, because that way I can actually boost myself back. Again, sometimes you need to do things like this. It's a very odd little platforming trick that it has, because you can't rest on some walls, so you almost need to prep a step and then kind of mantle your way out. And it gets to be very, very tricky, especially because, as you saw with an earlier move, sometimes even the plans that you have, they just go awry, and they go awry badly. So, yeah. So I'm just going to hack this computer. And I want to say that the faster you actually input those items, the more cash you get. Because I'm pretty sure the computer basically has a sense of like, oh, you actually should be here, you should be accessing this right now, as opposed to, you know, you're just basically hacking in and making things up in some ways, and you really are a crook. But you know, why don't we just get out of here? I really don't like the look of those pits over there with the spikes. I've basically collected enough cash. I think it's time to go. We can take the next one and be okay. I mean, 99% is still fine. That's still a really, really good amount of cash. And you know, we've got 2,300. Only need 4,000 to access the next area. Why don't we go on another heist, and hopefully there'll be at least 1 or 2 computers that'll give us enough that we can actually access the next district, where the cache really explodes, but then you also get a lot harder guards as well. We're still doing well on time too, but now we're actually getting into some of those other guards that I was talking about. These little floating orb guards. I kind of call them lawnmower guards, or I liken them to that because they sound like lawnmowers being run. They actually rotate their cone of awareness, so it becomes really, really tricky. They also take 2 hits to disable, and they also send out a burst of electricity here and there. So it becomes really, really tricky at times to know that you've actively got them, because they will spin around on you in a second. And later on, you also will find that they'll get turrets. They will actively start sweeping areas. I mean, these things become very, very tricky, and they can be a huge pain in some cases. So you really have to be careful if you see those around, because you know, if you time it wrong, they can end your heist very, very fast, as it almost did right there. So I'm just going to hit that. and smash that again. They'll even, in some cases, they will start coming after you and actively seeking you. That gets to be very, very tricky. Now, one other thing, it looks like along with these spikes, they also have this little, this unicycle guard, as you can see right here, and his cone of vision is much farther. So when you get into a situation, as you see right there, it becomes really, really tricky to gauge exactly when you're going to go up against one of them, because they can alert the other guards because they can see so much farther than the basic ones. So, as you can see on this bottom section, that's going to be a bit more of a problem, but you can also just run up quickly and knock them out, and because the other guards don't really pay any attention, you're okay. But they also have one of those lawnmower bots. Whew, okay. So, again, very, very tricky. The one plus is you can sometimes close doors on some of the machines, and they have no idea that you were even there. Again, sometimes it really is just like whatever little trick you can find to gain the upper hand on the machines. You got to use it, because they will take absolutely they have no problem in taking you out using everything that they have. And they will also send every single machine basically in London after you if you make a mistake. So you really have to be careful. So, let's see. I think I have to basically pull my my window trick again and hope that that works. Oh, so close. This is one where I really wish that getting the triple jump didn't cost 40,000 pounds. Let's see here. Yes, I can tell. Just compelling viewing there. But I have mantled, and I have made it, and I think that is all the cash on this level. I believe so. Yes. So, we're actually doing extremely well right now. Just managed to get enough. With 10 pounds left, you know, we'll go out, we'll grab some fish and chips. That'll be a really nice night. Just to save everything. So we'll go, we will unlock the next section, and this is where things will start to get a bit rougher. But there's so much more cash as well. You'll see exactly what I mean in a second. So, here we go. Into the warehouse district, which, you know, has a lot more warehouses. The feel of it actually changes. You have kind of this mix of like neon billboards and company signs, things like that. The areas are a lot larger, but there's so much more cash, so many more computers that you can acquire as well. Again, still doing really good with the timing. 94 days left. Eudora really doing well right now. And as you can see right here, this is one of those where you actually need to boost your hacking skill, because some of these doors now they are locked and you can't get into them unless you have a hack. The other thing to note, this one quote-unquote lawnmower security camera, it's got a machine gun turret on the top of it. So unlike the one in here, which is just the same standard one, it will shoot on sight. You also see these big guards. Those guys, instead of taking the one hit that the basic guards take, they take 3, and they will actually charge after you and pursue you. So you really need to be careful whenever you see those guys, because they are very, very treacherous guards to face off against. So I'm going to try and scale this. Now, as you can see, more cash lying around. That's actually a bag of money right there. And really, to get into that, I'd need bombs. I need to blast my way in. But we're just gonna hack here. And as you see right there, that's over 3,000 pounds. So the warehouse district is where you can start to get your first really big scores within some of the heists. Again, you have the neon signs kind of highlighting what some of these businesses happen to be that you're infiltrating. Yeah, so just going to try to avoid that guard, take him out, more cash. Again, still can't get in there. Can't blast my way through a wall because I don't have any bombs, and I can't even access that because I don't have my hack skill up high enough. So I'm probably going to need to abandon this mission. It's not a total failure by any stretch of the imagination. It's just the simple fact that oh well, actually I can try to see what I can do here. It makes me a bit nervous, of course, because there's that one guard. He's right there, right by the spikes. There's the machine gun turret. Let's see what we can do. Oh no. And of course, the big guards, they have larger cones of vision as well. So that becomes very, very tricky also. So, it's definitely got me a bit on edge, especially with that turret. Whew, but that was close. I'll take it. Let's see. So as I said, you know, some of these guys, like the big guys, you have to hit 3 times, and just knocking them down, you know, it basically pushes them forward, but it really kind of throws off your planning in some cases. So you really have to then gauge exactly how you're going to attack, when you're going to attack. Make sure that your surroundings are all clear. It adds a whole different element to everything. Fortunately, I'm starting to clear this out a little bit, which is really, really lucky. One more hit, I think. No, 2? 3. Okay, so that one's gone. But now I've got just one of these lawnmower turrets and another guard. Oh man, see, here's where the tension of the Swindle really kicks into gear. Because you know, like, you make one mistake and that's it. Like, that could really kill your entire mission. What I'm going to do, I think, is I'm just going to hack this machine over here. So, stashing a lot of cash. We'll see about the risk and reward part here. Okay, so basically, I've been detected. So I have a few minutes, or, well, not even a few minutes. I basically have a few seconds, depending upon whatever's going on, to really get out. One thing that you will notice when alerts have been set out are some of the guards will start to actively shred piles of money that are lying around to try to stop you from taking it. It's really infuriating, especially if at times you're going ahead and all of a sudden you make a mistake or something just catches you. Just to see a guard kind of shred a pile of money that you've seen right in front of you. I mean, you almost start to scream out in frustration. But, you know, that was still, even though we were detected, still a really, really good mission. I mean, got away with you know, over $8,000, almost £9,000 in cash and in loot. What that means is we can get bombs, and bombs are going to be really important because we can start to access some new areas, new levels. We can also hack open doors, and that one I actually might go for more so than bombs just yet. And the reason why is because in the warehouse district there's so many more locked doors that you really wouldn't expect, that you really have to have a way to get in and out. Remember what I said about having entrance points and exit points, especially if, as you just saw, you get detected. Sometimes you really need to know exactly what your exit is so you can make your way out as quick as possible, because when the cops come, you really want to escape, especially so you can save all the money that you have on a level. So let's see, I don't think, with the exception maybe of this other ability, the being able to look with the bionic eyes, and that's actually probably going to be worth it more in the warehouse district as well, because the levels are much more vertical, and they scale up and down. Aside from the fact that, you know, we almost have £3,000 left, should be able to get bombs within the next mission of the warehouse district, which is still pretty solid. 93 days left, so still doing extremely well. So let's okay, let's just hack our way through that, and we'll hack this computer as well. So already, you know, we're in the black as far as being able to gain. That's really bad. Because that basically ruins the entire heist. And here's the deal. I'm actually going to take this one. I mean, I know Eudora has been really, really good, but I want to see if I can show you guys kind of how aggro the cops get, and possibly even take some more cash. Yeah, see, the guards are shredding things. There's also these other new machines, these like caterpillar-like things with blades on them. Those are really, really, whoa, hazardous. And here's a cop. He's got a machine gun. He's got a flying vehicle. Come on, Eudora. Come on, Eudora, make it. Just drop, just drop, just drop. But as you see, not only do the cops go through walls with flying machines, but they also send tons of bobbies as well. Again, the cops are no joke here. They don't have, like, you know, warning levels. They don't have things like that. It really is just like, you're a criminal, so we're going to take you out. And you really have to escape as soon as possible. But I definitely wanted to show you guys that, just so you had a sense of what I was saying about, like, how tricky and how dangerous it is. Like, it really is, you have one shot. And if you mess that shot up, that could be it for you. I mean, it really could be the end of the heist. And, I mean, that was basically being spotted by one of the motorcycle guards at the very start of the heist. Not even like getting into the heist, but the very start of the heist, it was basically all over. And yeah, I could have just called it a day with that very first setup, but I wanted to definitely show off what exactly the cops were like here. It's not to say that you guys aren't going to see what they're like playing forward, but I wanted to highlight just how crazy they seem to get within the game. So just take out that one guy, start to do this one, and hopefully, oh, that could have been it. That could have been all over. But now you see, like, this one camera bot, it is actively trying to track me. That's just way too close. Way too close for comfort. You know, I think I might as well just try going up and around, now that I know that is basically the one way to get out. So, actually, I don't even know if I can make that. I might have to go straight up that way, which I hate to even think about. I really do. But it seems like that's possibly the only way that I'll even be able to mantle up and around. So whew. Tricky. So yeah, again, because the layout of each level is completely different, and it varies from playthrough to playthrough. Sometimes you have to take directions you really don't want to go in, just to sometimes make your way or in and around a section to successfully make your heist, to do what you need. Now, I don't really need to go in that way. There's nothing there that's going to help me. There's no cash, there's no advantage. But I think if I break through here, yep, okay, so I get cash and another computer, and I will take that any day. Which basically leaves what looks to be a section that is just crawling with guards, and I don't know that I want to even risk it. Because, you know, apart from just some of the jumping, some of the other things, I mean, here's the deal. I'm gonna go around, I'm gonna try it. I'll try and see what I can break into. I'm not gonna hold my breath, because my guess is with 2 or 3 of those guards, 1 or 2 of the floating sentries, as soon as I start like trying to hack and a motorcycle guard, as soon as I start trying to crack my way through here. Oh, that couldn't have gone any better. That was actually pretty surprising to me. I thought I was going to completely bomb that, and instead I actually managed to make it. So we actually made out much better than I thought, and just jumped in the pod and leave. I'll take it. I'll take it. Wow! And the ghost bonus for that was huge. That was massive. I didn't even expect that. Like, 100%ing that was probably one of the better things. And I was actually thinking about just completely leaving. That would have been a big mistake. So why don't we just go to the airship. We will update our new thief's skills. Hope here, who took that last level like a champ. So let's see. We can with our abilities. We have what is this? The hack speed, which is always a nice plus. Improving and speeding up how quickly the characters hack. Getting extra funds from computers. Now that is, I will take that any day of the week, because there's so many computers. That's not even a question. You know, I can take the hack speed at another time. I'm not even worried about that. That was just that's just the right choice to make, because you get so much more money from computers at any point in time. And then there's obviously bombs. And oh, wait a second. Police interference. If your thief triggers an alarm, police response is delayed. You know what? That's probably going to be one of the next ones that I will wind up acquiring. Right now, I'm not going to worry about it. I'm going to get bombs, because bombs are going to be really, really important. They're going to help me blast my way into and out of buildings. It's going to be key. It's going to be really the thing that we need to focus on right now. So I'm going to buy the first level bombs, which gives me 3 bombs per heist to blast my way into sections. Obviously, you know, with additional levels, I'll be able to carry a lot more, improve the radius, stuff like that. But I'm not even going to worry too much about that. We have 91 days. You know what? Why don't we just try one more heist before we close this one out? We'll try one more warehouse district heist, see how it goes. So still doing really, really well. Oh, but now we have mines. Now here's the interesting thing about this. You can actually hack the mines, so you can make them work for you. But if you make a mistake, if you have any hiccup whatsoever, it will blow up in your face, and you will instantly die. So to say that I'm a little hesitant is kind of an understatement, because those things are very, very, very temperamental. I think I'm going to actually leave that till the end, because I really, really don't like dealing with those things. Because of stuff like that. Because I can make mistakes. So, yeah. So, I really do not want to close out a video like that. I'll try one last time. Because that was just horrible. Of course, they're going to put a mine right back, just because they want to mess with me. I could have sworn that I jumped over that. Alright. How about, take number 2? So, we'll try with Jessamine and see how she does. Man, I did not expect that, but you kind of see what I was saying about the possibility of wiping out on a level happening. It's very, very easy. Very easy to do. And now I've got this one cycle cop. Ooh. Let's see. Okay, so hacking the mine. Okay, so basically now, if any enemy basically tries to cross that wire, they will blow up, like I have demonstrated in the past 2 missions. So very, very useful to be able to hack mines because of that, especially when you start getting cops after you, or you have those really, really strong guards that come after you. Now on this level, they've also, as you can see, it looks like they've got kind of like the blast doors down, which means I can't actually get through that way. That really hampers what I can and can't do. It really makes it very treacherous, especially if I'm trying to escape, because, you know, it shuts things off. And I don't even think a bomb can blast through that. So you really have to be careful if you start to see those, especially because you know, there's only so much that you can do. You also have these little, like, jumping robot things. And I, you know, again, because of this roguelike, it's one touch, you're dead. You have to be very, very careful when it comes to those things. You have to take them out and take them out quickly. Otherwise, they will just jump up randomly and ruin your day, ruin your heist, force you to start on a completely new heist. And there were some of the attempts that I tried, I didn't even know that they existed, and they blew me up. Very, very infuriating. Whew. Okay, so that is something I really don't even know that I want to do. But as you can see, right now I'm kind of in a sticky situation here. I'm gonna see what I can do. See if I can blast my way out of here. No. Actually, I probably can. If I go the other direction. Yeah, so I probably could have gotten out had I placed it this way and gotten into some of the lower levels, but I am now officially out of bombs. So, bad mistake on my part, but, you know, that can happen. I just need to try to get past this one motorcycle guard, and the mine here. Forget it. I know. So, I'm just going to try and get out as quickly as possible. Because none of this is worth it to me any longer. I just need to run. And run quickly. And we will just get to the pod and blast off. So, you know what? 12 days in, there have been, what, I want to say 3 or 4 deaths, but pretty decent amount of cash as well. I mean, we're back at the airship. We've got 7,300 pounds on hand, which we can use to boost the speed, even smash through doors and windows. You know, that's still really, really good. So I'm just gonna buy one last thing. I'll buy the hack speed, which is really important, especially when it comes to like hacking those mines. Frees up some space and some time, makes it a little bit easier. So that seems like it's probably as good a place as any to stop this episode. So thanks for joining me with this look at the Swindle. Again, it came out tail end of July for Steam. We're going to have the review in the middle of August. Couple quick housekeeping notes. I want to say thank you to my friend Eddie Rifkind, who helped design the channel logo and channel header graphics. You can check out some of his work over at his own website, which is eddierifkind.com. That's EDDIERIFKIND.com. I'll also put the link to his site in the video description below. As always, if you have any comments, questions, or suggestions, please feel free to leave them either in the comments below or reach out to me either by email through Gmail at critpixels@gmail.com. That's CRITPIXELS @gmail.com, or reach out to me on Twitter at critpixels. you know, I'll probably return to this game in a little bit, so please stay tuned. Be sure to share, like, and subscribe to the channel. I'm Jeff Haynes, and as always, I hope that all of your hits are critical and your pixels stay bright. See ya.